So I've got one of these little mini low profile USB memory sticks, 64 gigabytes, brand new, and I'm hoping when I pop it into my ATOTO X10, it's going to prompt me to format it, and it says in the instruction manuals in a DVR format. So let's film it, I'll record it and see what happens when I plug it in for the first time, because if I can get this then to be formatted, then it will allow me to then do parking monitoring, and it will record the information with the new camera that I've just installed on the latest video. But it does require, it says in the instructions, a USB which is formatted correctly. So let's get into it. By the way, the screen isn't on fire. It's just got this lovely live wallpaper, and I've just sort of set it all black. How good does that look, by the way?
Let's move on, 'cause it's time to move on.
So let's plug this in and see what happens. Now straight away it's gone to media. Now obviously it's a blank USB here, so there's nothing on it. So I'm going to go into the settings now and see where we can find where it talks about formatting the USB. This here is the DVR function which I use for the new dash cam. So if I go into that, perhaps I noticed that when you tap on the screen, I tried this with another USB stick but it didn't work. Maybe it was too old. And then if I go into settings, there we go, there's a little format USB, press confirm. Now when I pressed it before it didn't do anything, so let's see what happens. Oh, and it still doesn't do anything. But it says along the top, no available USB drive, DVR function disabled. Yeah, I've got that in there, which is odd. So I've got somewhere, look at this. I've got my Mac here. I've been formatting my dedicated little USB memory stick, which I wanted just for the camera that I've recently installed in the last few days. But watch what happens every time I put this in, and I've completely scrubbed this, even though it's brand new, fresh out of the box. I've tried about 3 different USBs. But I've had a light bulb moment, and I'm going to explain to you what I've done. I'm sorry it's getting so dark, but it has taken me a little while. But I think I've got somewhere. This is how I managed to get it to work. So this is the main screen, and the USB I've completely formatted, scrubbed it. There's nothing on this at all. So this is what happened so far. I moved back this little rubber cover here, plug it in, and by default, when I put it into the ATOTO radio, it comes up with the normal media player. And if I had music and films and stuff, it would be showing on this screen. But I don't want that. I just want this to be able to take the information that's been seen from the camera that I just installed so that I can use it as a dash cam. If I go into that app, it says there along the top, no available USB drive, DVR function disabled. I actually thought that kind of means that the formatting of the USB needs to be DVR. So it says on the instruction manual, it should automatically come up on the screen as soon as you put that on, format the USB, but I haven't got that. If I touch the screen and go into the settings option, here it's got all the different options. So G-sensor is low, pixels at 1080, I like high definition. I've got my units at miles per hour, parking monitor I've put on, and loop time I set at 5 minutes, so it just records over top of itself every 5 minutes. And here's the format USB. Watch what happens when I press it. Nothing, there's no screen that pops up at all. Now, I did find that there was another menu. So if I go back to the home, and you have to swipe down, if you swipe down in the middle, you get this larger sort of Android setup. And if you go into settings there, there's not really anything here in terms of USB that I can see. It doesn't mention USB. But on the storage, I did select Storage Manager, and I've set that to on. It was off before. But here's the thing. If I go back to the main screen, I swipe down where the sort of digits are at the top, you get this smaller menu that pops up. Hard to see, but it says USB drive, and when I select that, then you get this sort of standard setup where you've got things DCIM, documents, downloads, etc. There's no menu on there for formatting it. There's a little menu to the side, but it doesn't give me anything about formatting. But this is where I've had the light bulb moment, because I've actually installed in the back, it comes with USB cables on the ATOTO, and I fed them through into this little cubby hole just underneath the radio, and there's a USB cable female sitting in there, and I thought, wonder if I plugged in that USB into that. I wonder if anything would happen. And watch this. But you see that if I take this from the front here and then plug it into the cable, now it says it's recording. We have got life, ladies and gentlemen, and it's all good in the hood. So watch, if I don't need to do anything because it's working, but let's go into the formatting of the USB just to show you. So I go into the settings option there and I press confirm. Are you sure you want to format USB drive? Now that came up the first time. I'm just showing this again. So it does automatically come up on the screen when you first install your USB. So you press confirm. Don't remove in case it gets damaged. Formatting succeeded. And now we got a formatted SD card and it's now going to record what you're seeing on the screen. So the nice thing about this, I can now tuck that away. I don't have to have it on the front of the radio, so it's nice and neat. I'll just put that into the little cubby hole. So it's now recording at the moment, so let's test it. There's my fingers just in front of the camera. And if I press the screen and I press stop, because it's going to record all the time. Now, if I go, and you've got a camera option there, so I can take a photo of my hand, put my hand there, there's a photo. So succeeded. And I've also got a microphone. I can turn that off or on. I like to have it on. And just here where the three lines are, if you select that, it then gives you all the videos I've just been playing with. So if I now press the last one, which is this, what you see on the screen. So the nice thing about this, I can now tuck that away. I don't have to have it on the front of it. So it's now recording. That's not me talking. So let's test it. There's my finger. So now that it's all working, I'll play back the recording that I just did. But I tell you what, it's so clear. It's pretty dark outside, but yet you would look at the screen, you would never think so because it's got a low light sensitivity on it as well. And I tell you what, as a dash cam, considering what I've used to use, which is my little Garmin, which you have to actually use your mobile phone to link with a wireless connection to be able to see it because the screen's tiny, it's the size of a matchbox. But if you look at the size of the ATOTO, it's absolutely vast and you've got the clarity. It's really quite dark outside. You would literally never know. But for the purpose of recording, it's, yeah, I tell you what, somebody better not go into the front of me because this camera is going to pick up everything. So we got there in the end. It was nothing to do with the fact that I couldn't format the USB. It was actually down to how I plugged the USB in. And I never would have thought in a million years that there's three actually USB ports on this. You've got the one in the front, you've got the two wires at the back, of which I've just used one of them, and it worked. So the one in the front must just be for plugging in external devices. And it kind of makes sense really, because if you've got a dedicated dash cam, which we've got now, you want that to have its own recording storage. And so if you had a USB on the front and then you unplugged it, or it was a friend's or something, then you're going to take those recordings with you. So it does kind of make sense to have the cable with the USB. I just leave it there. It's lovely low profile, so you never know it's there. It's hidden away. I can unplug that if there's any incidences. I can look back at it on the screen, importantly. But I really hope this helps you because, as I said, I love doing videos like this where little things kind of really throw me and stump me, but we get there in the end and we work out how to actually fix the problem. So I really hope that helps you. If you've been struggling like me to get the USB to record with your dash cam, just try plugging it into one of the other cables. That's all it was. It was nothing to do with formatting. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.
Let's move on, 'cause it's time to move on.